and welcome to my March wrap-up. I sort of ended my March a little sooner than March should have ended. Basically, I had a 3-week March instead of a 4.5-week March, but then I will start my April TBR a little bit earlier, so I'll have like a 6-week April basically. So even though I ended my March a little sooner than I intended to, I actually read quite a lot of my TBR, so I'm quite happy with that. Let's start with the ebooks as always, and these will always be linked down below so you can get some more information, and I will link my March TBR post down below as well, so you click to any reviews that I've made of these. Few of these I have made videos of as well, so I will link those above if I've already posted those videos. So the let's go through the ebooks I read. Where's the ebook I read? Here. Oh, it doesn't like the colour of this one. Mums Just Want to Have Fun by Lucy Wheeler. This one is about two mums who go off on an Ibiza trip together with them and their kids, and it turns into this whole journey of self-discovery and really brings across that message of stop comparing yourself to other mums. You're doing a great job. So all the mums out there, just to reiterate that message, you are doing a great job no matter what, okay? Then the next ebook I read was right at the beginning of the month, which was Stormy Weather at Castle Court by Holly Hepburn. This is the third part in the Castle Court series, and I am so excited to read part 4. I don't think I can wait long enough. Seriously, there's such a long wait for part 4. I cannot wait any longer. Holly Hepburn, if you're listening. Then the next one I read was The Fear by C.L. Taylor. This is her 6th psychological thriller, and I have made other videos about her psychological thrillers on here, so I will link those so that you can go and see how amazing she is. This was fantastic, just like all the others. If you haven't read any C.L. Taylor yet, definitely pick her up. Start with The Accident. It's my favourite still. Although this one was very good as well. Then another ebook I read was What Fresh Hell by Lucy Vine. I think this is the proof cover. The cover that has been released on ebook this month was a yellow cover, and this was absolutely hilarious, and I could identify with so many of the characters and the incidents, so to speak, the events in this book, and I have reviewed this one on my blog, so make sure you click through to that so you can see more of my thoughts on this one. Then one that I have made a video about, so I will link that up here, and that is Big Bones by Laura Dockrell. Go and watch my video about this one because I absolutely loved it. And then on to the physical books that I read. I read some shorter physical books this month, just because that's the way it happened. So I read Women and Power by Mary Beard. This is a short, what is it called? It's a manifesto, which is about women and power. It is just about 100 pages long, and I was recommended this one on Instagram, so I went and saw if my library had it, and they did, so I read this one. This one was just to sit down and read it. It's quite interesting because there are a lot of historical facts and figures in here, so if you are interested in the history of women and power, definitely pick this one up. She relates it to current events as well. And then I have my 3 poetry books that I read. I read The Princess Saves Herself in this one. I read The Witch Doesn't Burn in this one, and both of these were by Amanda Lovelace. And then I also read Dropkick Romance by Cyrus Parker, which I bought at the same time as I bought the special edition, which is behind me here, of The Witch Doesn't Burn in this one. This was the Target special edition that I had to pick up. So I read this one at the same time as those. So a little poetry kick there. And then I also read in the theme of strong women, because it's Women's History Month this month and because it was International Women's Day. Not that I need an excuse. I read Goodnight Stories for Rebel Girls Part 2, and I do have a video, I think it's coming up on my channel, discussing books 1 and 2 in this series so far. But yes, I do absolutely adore this one. Here we have Ellen DeGeneres. It smells amazing as well. I have to say, this is a good smelling book. It is a good smelling book. And then on to audiobooks. Going ebooks then. Audiobooks. I have one that I don't have a picture of here. Let me find it. Is here, I promise. I listened to The Wildflowers by Harriet Evans. The audiobook and the ebook for this one are already out, and the paperback of this one is coming out on the 5th of April in the UK. And this is, it's a long listen. It is a long read, but it's definitely worth it. And then I listened to a couple of them that I have as physical copies. I listened to A Stitch of Time by Lauren Marks. This is a sort of memoir. It's her story of what happened when a brain injury changed her life. And what was interesting for me about this one was that she struggles getting some of her speech back. She has aphasia, and she talks about some of the studies that she has read to do with this, and they are some of the studies that I looked at and analysed at university. So that was quite interesting as well. This is non-fiction, but very interesting, and she is a very young author as well. So I think that made it even more interesting for me, because obviously you don't think of brain injuries necessarily happening to somebody like your age or younger necessarily. And so yeah, because her voice was similar to mine, I thought it was really interesting. And also she was an American, and this happened to her in Scotland, and so she talks about the difference in the healthcare systems as well, which is quite interesting. So there's lots of little interesting side bits that kind of piqued my interest in this one. And even though I have the physical copy of it, I listened to it on audiobook, but I made it back into the physical copy, so I'm glad I do have a copy. And then, of course, I did a reread. I'm trying to do more rereads. Bethany over on Beautifully Bookish Bethany's channel, she talked about doing like a reread a month, and she kind of inspired me to try it. Didn't quite manage it with January. I got in just too late. It was just into February, so I did one in February, which was How to Be a Woman by Caitlin Moran, and then my March one was Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli. I listened to the audiobook of this one, but I also got the film cover out of the library to film my Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda book versus movie, so I will link that up here so you've got that. Yeah. And that is what I read this month. So even though I did a short month, I still read quite a few books. Some of them were shorter, and I think I kind of got a bit more of a range this month as well. I've had months where it's been all physical books and I've just had like one ebook, or vice versa, or loads of audiobooks, whereas I had 5 ebooks, 5 physical books and 3 audiobooks. That's quite nicely balanced, I think. Yeah, I think my April maybe a little more ebook and audiobook heavy, but we shall see. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments below if you read any of the same things as I did in March. Make sure you are subscribed so that my April TBR lands straight into your subscription feed. Spoiler alert, it's going to be quite massive, but as I say, I've got about 6 weeks of my sort of April reading period that I've given myself, so it's a bit slightly different TBR. Yes, and you can expect a book haul quite soon, and as I say, I've got that Rebel Girls discussion video, so I've got lots of things coming up, so make sure you are subscribed for those. And thank you for watching. I will see you with my next video. Bye!